All right, so we're gonna go over the first, probably most basic, probably the first one you'll learn, but probably one that will work really, really well most of the times, mount escapes. Okay, so Dustin's got me mounted. Okay, the first thing I need to do is, obviously I need to protect myself. So if I stay here in obviously MMA or street fight, he could be punching me. In jiu-jitsu, he could be starting to set up chokes. I'm not in a very good position, so I need to defend myself first. So I take my elbows, and I make sure my elbows got on the inside of his legs. Right? If my arms are out like this, he can pull up on my arms, start getting into high mount, and I start having some problems. So I need to bring my elbows in, and I take the kind of pointy part of my elbow and put those right on his thighs. From here, I'm going to do a little stomach crunch and cover my head. Right? This is good for MMA. Make sure you can't get a collar for jiu-jitsu chokes. Reach up, kind of cover my head. And walk my feet back so my feet are close to my butt. This is kind of the first step, first position I got to go to get out. Now, if his hands are already on the ground, perfect. Then I can just go right to grabbing the hands. But a lot of times he might be trying to sit up, trying to go for a punch choke, or trying to go for some choke, or maybe punching me in MMA. I need a bridge, which causes his hands to plant. He has to plant his hands, or he's going to smash his face into the ground. Once he plants his hands, notice how I keep my hips up. If I put my hips right back down, he's going to posture. So with my hips up, he's going to keep his hands there, and I'm going to go both hands, both of mine right to his elbow. Okay, not to his shoulder where he's strong or his wrist where he's strong. Go where it'll bend. And I go to the elbow, and I bite that down into my belly button. And once I have this here, I keep it the whole time. I see, especially big guys, they go for this, they let go of the arm, and they start pushing on the person. That's not going to help. Keep the arm. That's your number one priority. If it's in gi, grab onto some gi so he can't pull it out. Now, whatever side I have the arm, I step over and trap the leg the same side. Try and take away as much space here as possible. Trap it. Okay? Now, I'm going to bridge one more time. So I'm going straight up to the ceiling with my hips. Then I'm going to roll over. And it's over on a 90-degree angle over here. It's not straight to the side. It's obviously not over my head. It's not kind of a shoulder roll like the warm-ups where I'm going over 90-degree angle from here. But I need to bridge. A lot of my students, when they first start this, they'll just try and go for the turn, and it won't work. You need to bridge to get their hips off the ground, and now I can roll over. Now to finish, there's a lot of momentum spinning us. And if I right away stay here, it's going to be pretty easy for Dustin to catch an arm bar by keeping his hip momentum going, shooting that over and catching the arm. So what I need to do when we first land, I take my elbows and actually bite them down and touch them to my thighs. And if I can get a grip on his hips, that's good too. Normally in guard, we want our elbows in, but just for the first 3 to 5 seconds to kill that momentum, we go here. Then I can bring the elbows in to start playing guard. Okay? And then that takes away that chance that he might be able to swing through with his hips and catch an arm bar. So one more time. I'm in here, protect myself first. Elbow points of the elbows to his thighs. If I gotta walk my back away a little bit to get some space, I gotta do that. I stomach crunch, cover up my head so he can't either hit me or choke me. Feet close to my butt. I bridge to get his hands to plant. And I need to keep my elbows in his thighs. Again, if my elbow's out here and I bridge, he's going to slide right up into high mount. Now I'm in deep shit. So I got to make sure that I keep my elbows in his hips to keep him where he's at. So when I bridge, he plants his hands. Right away, both hands, not one hand. Okay, both hands go to his elbow, bite that in, and from there it stays the whole time. Don't worry about pushing him. None of that's going to help. Just keep this on there tight. Trap the same side leg. I'm going to bump, then roll. Don't just roll. Bump first to get his hips up. Then I'm rolling over my shoulder at 45 degrees. So I bump, roll. Right when we land, my elbows bite down on his hips, control his hips so that he can't do anything. I still got to keep my head up, right? So I don't worry about loop chokes and some of the other chokes. I keep my head up. But once the momentum kills, then I bring my elbows in and I can start either my guard breaks or my guard passes. So that's the most basic beginner mount escape.